Right, ladies, gentlemen, ready for round 3?
Yes.
Right, we're all back. So let's start the screen share. So here we go. Cuba. Okay. Now, up to now, the timetables we've seen, you have the cities on the left and then the times on the right. Now we have the cities in the middle. Okay. And again, this is a space saving thing. On the left-hand side, it's, okay, let's zoom in, make it easier. Right, so we have the cities here. On the left, you go, see the arrow pointing down?
Yeah.
So on the left, this is going from Havana, there Havana, down to Santiago de Cuba. Okay? On the right, the arrow goes up. This one you read from bottom to top. So if the cities are in the middle, it's top to bottom on the left and bottom to top on the right. The D and the A still depart arrive. You have kilometers here, but we have an extra column here. Okay? Tell me, what currency do you think they use in Cuba, which used to be a Spanish colony? Okay, Argentina used to be a Spanish colony and they use peso. Philippines used to be a Spanish colony and they use peso. Cuba used to be a Spanish colony and they use peso. You see, I told you history is useful sometimes. Yeah. So Cuban peso, second class, and the fares. There's no fares published because the Cuban peso is up and down like a yo-yo, so they don't publish. Even if they did publish, it's just for guidance only, okay? Here we have FC. FC means it's just the name of the company, the railway company in Cuba. And they give you a telephone number and a fax number. Just might be useful. So, if we look here, oops, Guantanamo to San Luis, down this way, up that way. Okay? So down the left, up the right. Okay? Depart, and so on. Right, we have a passenger who wants to go to Cuba, and now it's possible. There's lots of flights to Cuba. One time, there only used to be flights to Cuba from what we used to call the Eastern Bloc countries. Yeah, now you can fly to Cuba from almost anywhere. Sorry, my phone. Right. We want to go from Guantanamo and we want to go to Manzanillo. So here I can find Guantanamo, but can I find Manzanillo?
No.
No. Okay, we'll zoom in again. Yeah. But here I can find Manzanillo, but can I find Guantanamo?
No.
No.
Right. The trick is if I look here and
One
here.
from here And one way there.
Exactly. Is there a common city? Is there a same city in both timetables?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
San Luis.
San Luis. Yeah. San Luis here, San Luis here. So that's probably the best place to change. Yeah.
Yes.
So if I want to go from Guantanamo to Manzanillo, first of all, I have to go from Guantanamo to San Luis and then San Luis up to Manzanillo. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Right. From Guantanamo to San Luis, am I going to go down the left or up the right?
Down the left.
Down the left.
Down the left. So how many trains are there?
7.
From Guantanamo
From
to
Guantanamo to San Luis, how many
Only one
trains
train.
are there?
one train.
1, 2,
3. Okay,
3.
yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, okay.
I thought
Right.
you meant
If I
how
were
many
you,
trains have to use.
I would
Yeah.
write this down. We've got Guantanamo, San Luis, 0200 0510, 0745 1110, and 1410 1655. We got 3 possibilities. Okay. Now, if I want to go from San Luis and Manzanillo, do I go down the left or up the right?
Up the right.
Right, so let's have a look. Let's find San Luis. That train, 7:38. Does it go to Manzanillo?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, gets in at 12:30.
30.
Right, there's another train here, 11:20. Does that go to Manzanillo?
No.
No.
Ah, okay. So we've got 3 possibilities here. Yeah, we got 3 possibilities here, but only 1 here.
1 there.
So it departs San Luis at 7:38.
8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which train do you think would give the best connection?
Actually,
5 turn.
The first one.
The
And the left.
first one.
First
Because
one and the
that leaves at 0200, gets in at 5:10.
Yeah.
yeah.
Then I could leave at 7:38, get into Manzanillo at 12:30.
Is there any minimum connecting time for trains like this?
No. But this is where it's a good idea to know your railway stations. This one, we've got a couple of hours, so we're definitely okay. Okay. But say you were in Paris and you arrive at Paris Nord and you leave from Paris Austerlitz, it would be a good idea for you to go online and check what's the distance. And if they say it's 1 hour by car, add an extra hour. Okay? Because with trains, there's no set connecting time. You have to use your experience and stuff. But for 2 hours at the same station, yes, you should be okay. Okay? So you've got me from Guantanamo to Manzanillo. I'd like you to bring me back now. So
Take from
I've got to go Manzanillo, San Luis. Is that going to be down or up?
down.
Down. So I need that side. And then from San Luis to Guantanamo, that
Go up.
side.
Go up.
Right. Try and work out the connection for me.
Okay, so you will use train 744. Sorry, train
709.
Yeah,
Well, okay, going from Manzanillo to San Luis, there's only one.
yeah.
One.
Yeah,
709.
70.
1450
At 1415.
gets in at 1905. Agreed?
Agreed.
Yes, agree.
If I get in at 1905, I can't catch any of these, can I?
Go on the right side.
Yeah.
No, you go to the other side, yeah.
Yeah, I can't catch any of these, can I? Because I get into San Luis at 1905,
Yeah.
and all of them have already left for the day.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to stay overnight and go the next day, yes?
Correct.
Yeah.
So which would be the first train that I could?
704.
704 be
704,
at
5:30.
5:30.
Right. That's the exam answer. That's the answer that will get you correct in the exam. Now let's discuss real life. If they get in to San Luis at 7 o'clock in the evening and they're not going to leave till the next day, they're probably going to need a hotel, yes?
Yeah.
Right. Tell me, you're staying in your hotel room, okay? Would you like me to come banging on your door at 4:30 in the morning saying, hurry up, you got a train to catch in 1 hour? Or do you think it might be better to let your passengers sleep, have breakfast, and catch the 13:30?
I
Yeah,
would
that-
choose.
That
I
could
would-
be an idea, a good idea.
Yes, that would be a good idea. But they can ask, in the exam, they can ask you, what's a good idea for your passenger? No, they have to be very specific. What is the fastest connection? You can ask that question, but you can't say, what do you think is the best one? You can't do that in an exam. But real life, yes. So you give both options to your passenger. You say, if you want to, you can catch a 5:30 and get into Guantanamo at 8:35. Because maybe they have a business meeting. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if they're tourists, yeah, let them
They might
stay.
even go by the 1755 and spend the day.
Exactly. If San Luis is an interesting place, maybe you book them a day tour. Yeah. In fact, San Luis is an interesting place. I wouldn't mind a half-day tour around, have breakfast there, half-day tour, lunch, then go to the yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
We'll
On
go
the other
to
hand, if I've got a business meeting at 10 o'clock, I better catch the one that gets in at 8:35. Real life, it depends what's happening, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So in some ways, exams are easier than real life. So when you have a review of this, it says, you know, in this table, we can find this, but not this, and we can find that, not that. So is there a common city in both tables? Yes, San Luis. You know, so it just leads you through what we've just done, okay? And it was, you know, typical exam question. What's the fastest? Okay, doesn't say anything about making him wake up at 4:30 in the morning. Right. So we got it both ways round. Yeah, we can do New Zealand. New Zealand. Rail travel in New Zealand is pretty good. Yeah. Now, let it. Normally, in rail timetables at the beginning, it will give you information about that country. So, you know, its capital, Wellington. Rail services in New Zealand operated by Transrail. Fares vary depending on the class. And in general, only one class of accommodation is offered. and this will be called first class. So normally around the world, there are two classes, but in New Zealand, it's normally only one class and it's called first class. But some local trains may have second class, but that's just local trains. Okay? Children under 4 travel free. 4 to 15 pay half fare, and 15 and over the full fare. You don't have to remember this, okay? This information has to be given to you because there's about 180 countries in the world. You think you're supposed to remember every single country's rules and regulations? No. Just to make life easy for you, it's also here. All mainline trains are R. An advance reservation is strongly recommended for all long distance bus services, train services, everything. Right. There's some true and false questions for you based on the previous page, okay? So, children travel free in New Zealand to the age of 5, false, it's under 4. In general, there are two classes, false, it's one class, okay? And we'll come to the others now. It's in the middle. Down the left, up the right, okay? So, same again, down the left, up the right. This time, we do have fares. Tell me, can you quote these fares to the passenger as guaranteed fares?
No, always indicated.
It's indication, a rough idea, approximately, okay? There are actually some additional symbols here. Can you see this one here? That's the international symbol for disabled. That means that these trains have special facilities for the disabled. It can be like the toilets have wide doors, so a wheelchair could get in. By the toilets, it will have those big, thick handles that you can hold on to.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Bus.
Yes, that means to get to this place, the connection is by bus, not train. Okay? Now, Auckland to Wellington. Tell me, are they both on the same island?
Auckland and
Wellington.
Okay, Auckland, Wellington, and Christchurch. Could you find them on a map?
Yeah, one in the north, one in the south.
Yeah, so which are the ones on the North Island?
Auckland.
Yeah. And Wellington, Christchurch are on the South Island?
so it's all the way down.
I'm assuming.
You sure?
No.
Assuming.
Right. Homework. I want you to find out the location of Auckland, Wellington, and Christchurch on the New Zealand map. Anyway, let's go back to this. Train number 0203. Number 1. What do you think number 1 means?
Bus.
First class only. Okay? First class only. Reservations are compulsory. Okay.
Yes.
Can I get a restaurant meal on this service?
Peter, but I have a question. You said
Yeah.
before that the first class is usually circled around.
No, a circle would mean Mondays only.
Ah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay.
So we've got an R in a box, so reservations. Then there's a diamond. I better have a look. What does a diamond mean? Yeah. Well, there's nothing here. Ah, but there is a train number, 0203. 0203. It's the Northerner, okay, with facilities for the disabled. It departs at 2040. Then it gets into Papakura at 2130, but there's a letter U. So I better have a look and find out this letter U. Well, again, that's missing, okay, because I haven't given you the full timetable, but you should check. Right. Let's say I want to go to Napier. Can you see Napier here?
Yeah.
Right. Does this train go from Auckland to Napier?
No.
No. Does this one?
No.
No. This one? No.
No.
This one? No. This one? No. None of them. And there's no connection either. Yeah. I wonder what we can do. Well, what we can do is we can see if we can connect.
There is connection by bus.
Yeah, but there's an even easier way.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Let's just take this 2040, okay? Can you see here, it gets in at 0527 to Palmerston North. Yes?
Mhm.
Yes.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Right. So we've come down. Now, if I go up the timetable, Palmerston
Right.
North to Napier, I could do that way. Okay. Now, this type of thing requires more geographic knowledge of the country. So you're not likely to get this in the exam I've checked. Okay. Because if you don't know where the location of Palmerston North is, Hamilton, you just can't do it. But this is more for real life. Sometimes look at the train, see where's the nearest you can get to. Now, can you see 0505?
Yeah.
Now, if you come across here, that's already past Napier, hasn't it? There's nothing from here to Napier.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next place is Palmerston North. That I can go up and do it. So sometimes you have to really jiggle around with these timetables. As I said, I've checked with IATA. In the old days, this was a question, but they used to give you maps and highlight things. They're not doing that anymore because everything is multiple choice. Okay, so this one is more for your
Knowledge.
personal information. So again, I've shown you how to do it, okay, and the next day and so forth. Okay, right. So if you want to do that bit, you can do it, but it's the New Zealand bit. If you want to skip it, especially if it's going to confuse you. Okay.
Yes.
Say
Okay.
yes, Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. If New Zealand is going to confuse you with the up, down, this one we will have to do. Eurostar. What can you tell me about Eurostar?
It's between UK and Paris.
Yeah. Through the
Yeah,
channel.
Through the channel, under the water.
underneath the channel, yes. Right. So this goes London, Rotterdam, Amsterdam by Eurostar. Okay. Tell me. Let's zoom in. Which railway station do I go from in London?
Waterloo.
London Waterloo. Can you see that here?
Yes.
Yeah. Then you've got Ashford, Lille, Europe, Brussels,
Yes.
Brussels, Midi, and Zuid. That's central and south. It's two railway stations, but believe me, these two stations, once the train moves, it just starts and then it stops. They're practically next door to each other. Okay, that's why they don't list them separately, because it doesn't even take 2 minutes. Have a look at Antwerp. How many railway stations are we using in Antwerp?
2.
2. And Centraal is obviously central. Do I cross an international border?
Yes.
Yeah, here.
Rosendale.
The little house. Okay. Then you have all these. Can you see this one here? And there's a
Schiphol
picture.
Airport.
Schiphol Airport, yes. Okay. And then Amsterdam CS Central Station. Now, this train has a star, yes?
Yeah.
Right. Let's have a look what. Oh, star's on the next page. That means Eurostar. You can get a meal. Reservations are compulsory. Let's have a look a bit closer at the days of the week. Can you see
Monday.
1-6?
Monday, Saturday.
No, it's
Day
Monday to Saturday. If you have a 1 and right next to it a 6 with no line in between, that's Monday and Saturday. Okay, so that's another confusion for you. So here we have 1-5. That means Monday to Friday. 1 in a circle next to it, 5 in a circle, Monday and Friday only. Okay?
Yes.
So this one goes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Does it operate on Sunday? No. Leaves London Waterloo at 6:14. It doesn't go to Amsterdam. Yeah. So I'm going to have to change trains. How far can I go on this train? Brussels, Midi, A. What does A mean?
Arrival.
Arrival. And D means?
Departure.
Right. So I've got arrival and departure times. So I arrive in Brussels Midi 10:02. There is a train leaving Brussels Midi at 10:34. Gets into Amsterdam Central 13:40. So down, cross, down. Okay?
Yes.
Tell me, this train, 9110, can I catch this train on a Saturday?
No.
No.
Wednesday?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. If I catch this train at 06:53, what time will I arrive in Rotterdam Central Station? Down, across.
13:0.
You won't.
So this one, I can go down. Brussels Midi 10:37. Depart 11:28. 13:09.
13:09.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. This Roosendaal 12:57. This train arrives in Utrecht at 14:43. True or false? So this train departs Roosendaal
False.
12:57. Why false?
False, because it's a different train. There is a
You got the
separation there.
big black
There is
line. Yeah.
Yes.
So watch out for the big black lines. Oops, right. Ah. You have a passenger who wants to go from London Waterloo to Amsterdam at about 12. What is your best connection? Now, 12. You've got two trains, 11:23 and 12:27. Okay, which one is actually closer to 12?
12:27.
Well, that one's 35 minutes and that one's 27 minutes difference, isn't it? So closer is that one. In real life, what do you do? In real life?
We can give them either before or after.
Exactly, give them both, let them decide. But if we're going by actual time, 11:23 up to midday, 12, yeah, call it 25. That's 35 minutes, that's 27 minutes, so that one's a little bit closer. Okay, so 12:27. If you want a connection, 12:27, Brussels Midi arrive, across, down, you've got the arrival times. Here's another way of getting from London Waterloo to Amsterdam. We saw that there was a star, yes? Yeah, there's a star.
Yes.
Right, let's see a little bit more what it says about the star. Star means, oh, it's a Eurostar train. Special fares you have to pay. Minimum check-in time, 20 minutes. Ah. So you have to do a minimum check-in for a train. Okay, reason for this is it's an international train. The UK has very strict immigration border controls and stuff. It takes a bit longer than most countries. In Europe, we don't have this problem. Yeah, but you know what the English are like. Okay. On February the 5th of April, on February the 5th, April the 1st and 8th, all Eurostar trains depart 13 minutes earlier. Ooh, only those dates. On 6, 7, can you see that this 6 and 7 right next
It's
to each
day
other?
6, day 7.
Exactly. There's no line in between, so they're not connected. It's 6, 7. It also calls it Antwerp Central, blah, blah, blah. 1-5. Ah, that's
From day
Monday,
1 to
Tuesday,
day 1.
Wednesday. Exactly. Okay. This one, there's a sea crossing. Yeah, fast craft, Stena line. Okay. Right, that's, you got all the stuff here. Right, now let's look at this one. Because tell me, do you think everybody will like traveling in a tunnel under the sea?
No,
Some people don't
some of them
like the
get
idea
dizzy.
of all this water on top of them. Some people say, nah, I want to go on the boat, relax, watch a movie, you know, because the ferry services from Europe to UK and UK to Europe, they're quite nice, you know. They've got cinemas, restaurants, all sorts of stuff, shopping centers. So here's another way we can get from London to Amsterdam. This time, which railway station do I use in London?
Liverpool.
Liverpool Street. Okay. Then it goes to Harwich International, which is a border, and Hoek van Holland, which is also a border. Because remember, two countries, they're each going to have a border, aren't they? So
Yeah.
UK has theirs, The Netherlands has theirs, so that's why you got two houses. In Europe, the one we saw before, there was just one little house. That just means there's an international border, but it's not both sides and nobody cares, okay? Right, then it goes to from Hoek van Holland, it goes Rotterdam, Den Haag, Schiphol, Amsterdam, okay? Right, if I want to go on a Monday and I want to go as early in the morning as possible, what time is the first train I can catch on a Monday as early as possible?
8:50.
Why not the 8:45?
Because that's
Not operate on Sunday.
Yeah,
On Monday.
Sunday only, so I can catch that one.
Mm.
I have to make reservations, and that gets me from London Liverpool Street to Harwich, across and down, Harwich to Hoek van Holland. Yeah, takes about 5 hours. Hoek van Holland to Amsterdam. So I could leave at 8:50, get into Amsterdam at 17:33. But I have to change at Harwich and Hoek van Holland. Okay? Now, if I want, the example you do at home is for the evening service, okay? Right. No, I think we'll leave this one for today because I don't want to make it too difficult for you. Now you can see train timetables, they're not impossible to deal with, but it's going to take practice. I think you'll agree it takes practice. Some of you will be more familiar with them than others, but remember, rail travel is becoming much more popular than it used to be. So more people are saying, no, I want to take the train, okay? One reason, because it's cheaper. Between cities that are nearby each other, is because it's faster. It's more comfortable. Tell me, do you normally have a baggage allowance traveling by train?
No
There's
limitation.
another advantage, yeah? If you're traveling with small children and you have your own compartment, do you think that's more comfortable than trying to sit with them on your lap on a plane?
Yes.
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 So there are several advantages, okay? Don't assume people want to fly, okay? Even if it's long distance. Now, Perth to Sydney, yeah, most people fly. Because the train journey is so long, it is a bit expensive. It's still comparable with the flight, but it does take 2.5, 3 days. So do you have the time? But if you've got the time, what a brilliant way to see a country, you know? On the other hand, if you fly from Perth to Sydney, depending on the routing they take, sometimes you fly over Ulara or Ayers Rock, as it used to be called, big red rock in the middle of Australia, yeah? So sometimes you can see stuff from the plane. Sometimes all you can see is cloud.
Obviously, now with the awareness of the environmental awareness, train is
Absolutely.
less carbon footprint, leaves less carbon footprint than aircraft. So a lot of people are thinking of it that way as well, and that's a good reason to offer it to those who are looking for more sustainable environment.
Yeah. Well, Saudi has a rail service, which is quite nice, actually. I've seen pictures of it. It's quite posh. So we've got lots of reasons. It's faster. It's more comfortable. It's convenient because it's city center to city center. no problems with baggage. It's more environmentally friendly. Gives you a chance to meet people and look at things when you're flying. So we mentioned some of the rail services. Tell me, the X2000, can you tell me in which country does that mainly operate?
Sweden.
Sweden.
Yes.
General knowledge now, I haven't told you this one, although it is in your books. Do you know the high-speed rail service in the UK? Anyone tried that? It's the 125. Because you know in the UK they use miles, not kilometers. So it travels at 125 miles per hour, which is what, a couple of 100 kilometers. So compared to European high-speed trains, it's
Slow.
slow, yeah.
200 something kilometers.
Sorry?
It's around 210 kilometers per hour.
Yeah, but I mean, when you consider, I mean, the one in the Czech Republic, the high-speed train can get up to 400, double the speed. The TGV in France, 570.
500.
But don't worry, this is the English. They're always a little bit behind everybody else. Okay. Now, actually, I like the English. Really, I lived there. They're okay. They're. My mother used to say, if God didn't invent the English, somebody else would have to. Yeah? So she was pretty easygoing with them. Right. Which famous long distance train starts in Moscow?
Trans-Siberian.
Sorry?
Trans-Siberian.
Trans-Siberian, yes. Tell me, the Oriental Express travels between which two cities?
Bangkok and Singapore.
Bangkok and Singapore. And the Orient Express travels between
London.
London and
Venice.
Venice. You see, it's in there somewhere.
Mhm.
Okay. Traveling by rail, like I said, gives you the opportunity to meet people. When I was about 19, I think, maybe 20, I did my first solo trip to Asia, and I went to Hong Kong and Japan. I'd spent a few months, crash course learning Japanese, yeah? And the only thing it didn't cover was the writing. So I could ask things, but I couldn't read things. So I bought a ticket from Tokyo to a place called Sendai. And when I got to the platform, I looked at the side of the train and it had the name. And I looked at my ticket and I held it and went, that looks about the same. And I got on the train. Yeah. Wrong train. I ended up in a small village, a small town. Yeah. And I thought, well, as I'm here, I may as well stay. There was only one hotel, a traditional Japanese hotel, a ryokan. The family have been running that hotel for 700 years. The same family running that hotel for 700 years. I was the first gaijin, the first white man to go in there ever.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was very honored, just like all traditional Japanese hotels, you have to share toilet facilities, washing facilities, blah, blah, blah. But the amazing thing is, remember, we're talking about when I was 20, which is a long time ago. There weren't many European tourists in Japan at that time, especially not these villages. So that day I went out for a little walk around town, and I was surrounded by kids staring at me, really confused, because the only white people they saw were on TV. They'd never seen one in real life. So I had this little crocodile of kids following me everywhere. Yeah. When I went for breakfast the next day, in Japan, when you go into a restaurant, a hotel, they shout out welcome, which is irashaimasen. When I walked in, yeah, it was irashai, and they stopped halfway through the word because the three waitresses looked at me. What's he doing here? And then I could see all three of them. They went to a corner, and I knew they were saying, you serve him. No, you serve him. No, you serve. It took him a couple of minutes for the brave one to come over. So I got the waitress, and then I asked in Japanese. I said, I'd like 2 fried eggs, some toast, coffee, and orange juice. And she looked at me with, her eyes were like dinner plates. Instead of going to the kitchen, she ran to her friend saying, he speaks Japanese, he speaks Japanese. So you see, traveling by train, meeting local people, getting to places that airlines don't fly to can be a big part of a good holiday. And to be honest, that place is one place I will never forget, no matter how many countries I go to, because for 3 days, I was unique in that village or in that town.
The prince, the white prince who arrived there.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, the next day, the kids were following me, and one of them got brave, and he looked at me and he said, hello. So I said, hello. That's it. They all started, hello. It was like, but my friend, his daughter, my Japanese teacher, my sensei, I went to see him at his house, and his daughter, she'd forgotten about me because she was quite young. They'd been away for a year. So she sort of forgot about me. But she still liked me, and she sat on my lap, and she ran her fingers through my hair. In those days, I had a lot of hair, okay? So and she called me Neko. You know what Neko is?
No.
Neko-chan. That means pussycat. I had to be a pussycat. I had yellow hair, blue eyes, funny skin. I can't be human. I got to be a cat. So she called me pussycat. Yeah. So this is why we travel, for new experiences. Never, ever be afraid of the differences between our culture. Embrace them, enjoy them. That's what life is about, okay? I feel so sorry for people who, they go to a country. Americans are famous for this. They will go to a country, they will stay at a Hilton or a Holiday Inn, exactly the same as the one that they left at home. What's the point of traveling if you're going to do the same thing there that you do at home? Okay, there are some limits, of course. If you're vegetarian and you go overseas, stay vegetarian. Or you eat halal, just keep eating halal. It's no big deal. But within that, be adventurous. Try new stuff, try new food. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, we are exactly at 6 o'clock. Thank you very much. I will send you the first 2 PowerPoints, not the one with the timetables, okay? Because we need to do some more work on that before I think you're ready for that. But the product and so on, I'll send you that today, okay? I'll also be sending you some